Hello and welcome to the Librarium. The Librarium is dedicated to providing you with quality reviews of fantasy and science fiction media. Today we're going to take a look at The Damocles Sanction by Ciaravella. The Damocles Sanction is a BattleTech novel set at the beginning of the IlClan era. The story is primarily told from the perspective of Federated Suns characters. However, the perspective of several Draconis Combine characters are interspersed throughout the novel. The focus of the novel is First Prince Julian Davion's campaign to liberate New Avalon and other occupied Federated Suns worlds from the Draconis Combine. These worlds were conquered by the Combine in the final years of the Dark Ages. First off, I have to say I really enjoyed this novel. I'm not very familiar with the Dark Ages or the IlClan era, but after reading The Damocles Sanction, I feel significantly more comfortable with the IlClan era, at least with respect to the Federated Suns. The political, economic, and military realities within the Federated Suns is presented in a very interesting way. With New Avalon and a significant portion of the First Prince's traditional power base being occupied, Julian Davion's strength relative to the Dukes of the Federated Suns is significantly weaker compared to previous First Sons that we know. And the complete collapse of the Federated Suns is discussed, and honestly, it seemed like a real possibility. I felt that this novel was an excellent introduction to the IlClan era. We learn a great deal about the First Prince Julian Davion, his champion and Duke of Robinson, Eric Sandoval, and finally, to a lesser extent, about Duke Alexander Hasek. Each of these characters have their own supporting cast of characters that provide them with advice and information throughout the story. The characters, both primary and secondary, are well developed and have realistic motivations and flaws. Many of the secondary characters end up being just as well developed as the primaries. I expect that they'll be making future appearances in subsequent novels. I enjoyed reading all of the different perspectives. Each one provided unique insights into the story. There's a great combination of classic mech combat mixed with military strategy and political intrigue here. There were also several naval engagements which I found very engaging and hope to see more of in the future. Aspects of the Damocles Sanction remind me of the FedCom Civil War trilogy by Lauren Coleman and the Warrior trilogy by Michael Stackpole. All of these novels involve Great House level decision-making and strategy. Accordingly, they end up showcasing what's occurring on many different systems throughout the Inner Sphere. And I think this is what makes them a great way to learn about what's happening generally throughout the BattleTech universe at any given time. I can only hope that there'll be additional books written in this style with a focus on the other great houses and clans at the beginning of the IlClan era. This would really help define the state of the sphere going into this era. If you enjoy a good BattleTech novel and want to get some insight into the Federated Suns at the beginning of the IlClan era, I strongly recommend picking up a copy of The Damocles Sanction by Ciaravella. It is currently available for purchase from the Catalyst Games Lab store and Amazon. For your convenience, I've included a link below. And please, if you enjoyed this review, like and subscribe. Thank you very much for listening today.